All right, for sure. So, yeah, we live and recording, and I'm gonna dip out of here and go see some patients. And if you guys could do your best to flow, however long, I'll respect both your times. I'll come back here after I get a minute, and I'll be watching what you guys are saying, and I might hop in just to kind of take the conversation in different directions based on what I hear. Cool.
Sounds good.
Cool. What's up, Marlon?
What's going on, Cese? How are you today, man?
I'm chilling, man. My apologies for the camera. I'm just like, I really went for the camera and like being live and all of that. And I know Ben just kind of like moves quickly and like, hello?
Yeah. I'm
And
here.
so it's just like it kind of happened like last minute. And I was just like, all right. I really was excited to like, jump on a call and meet you based on the work that I heard that you do and the synergies that like, kind of been presented. So, that was really it. I'm honestly like really not that fully aware of like the Blind Ape and like, you know what I'm saying? Like how, they want to activate it, the crypto, all of that stuff. So, I can just really just, as far as that is concerned, like speak on the conversations I've had with Ben. That's really, which has been like, honestly, like 5, to be honest. But
I think from what I'm hearing, I mean, I'm interested, and I know like from my understanding, you're trying to get, tap into like the North Carolina area, and I mean, what I do is I run the monitoring program for Wake County, so I mean, my office is legitimately like it's downtown. Like I'm in the courts, I rock in the courts all the time, and I come across juveniles all the time, and a lot of them they have like this ability, man, but just trying to keep themselves in a position where they're keeping it in the road is the issue. You know what I mean? They come up against all of the inner city issues that people do come up to. And I think it's just one of those things, man. When my boy D told me about this, I was like, yeah, of course. However, I can help. You know what I mean? Like for me, like the monetary thing comes way later, if at all. Like I'm all about empowering the youth, man. And how do we do that? How do we bridge these kids that don't have that, and I'll say it like the father figure or don't have the means, you know what I mean, or feel like they have to be pressured into doing X, Y, and Z. If there's any type of program that we can build around it, I mean, I love that. I love that for them, and I mean the energy would be contagious. You know what I mean?
most definitely. Yeah, no, that's literally like, what the draw was as far as like, really getting on the horn with you. I can get into like, what exactly I do in my program, and just to like kind of like quickly answer that question or that thought you put out there. Yeah, we are interested in getting in the North Carolina area because, part of our program is, or, the hook aspect, I'm sure you heard of this like nonprofit jargon, right? Like is basketball. Me being a hooper, me growing up in New York City, basketball is real integral in like, my ability to access different things. And it is for a lot of kids in inner city. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a new concept,
That's
but
right.
hoops is like, this beautiful thing that I know North Carolina is doing at a high level. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and the high level part, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like, like getting kids in the NBA, because that's the part where, we got to be careful with, because that's not the
Right.
only, end goal. You know what I'm saying? And
No,
yeah.
for sure.
And in fact, like, with our program specifically, like we don't push that at all, even though we deliver on services that like, are at that level, but, it's about empowering the youth to like understand that they have like access to whatever they want to do, so long as they put the work in.
That's right.
So yeah, North Carolina always been on the radar, you know what I'm saying? And just in the basketball community, just understanding like, street culture, that, and what's going on out there, that like, hoops really be saving lives, just like New York, just like Cali, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So yeah, that's the draw, but in terms of what we do, the organization is called Young Vets, and we work with 6 cities across the country right now. And we go to those cities and we find the youth that have been pushed out, really that honestly like kind of land on your doorstep in every respective city. You get what I'm saying? The juvenile system, the courts, whatever you want to call it, or just honestly just being pushed out right at the margins, right?
Yeah.
And those are the kids that we like, and it's for the specific reason that it's those kids that are coming with that lens, right, of being, almost ostracized in a way, right, like by society, by their peers, that have like, honestly the grit and the, you know, the mentality to, you know, if reworked, you know what I'm saying, reimagined, you know what I'm saying, like could
Yeah.
you know, honestly, like propel them further than anyone. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Yeah. So I'm from New York originally myself. I've been down here about 12 years, and I have access to some really, and I like to think very powerful people, chief, superior, and district court judges. I know a mayor of Apex where I first landed when I first came down here. Basketball was my first love, man, and I dealt with all of that rejection. D will tell you, like I was nice in ball, like I balled, like, I played varsity as a freshman, and I put in that work, man. But I too, I had an upbringing that was very similar to could be yours, or so I can relate. So when he was telling me about this again, I was thrilled to like even play a portion of it. You know what I mean? Even if it's just a connection part, or if like there's some big brother component to this thing. I don't know what it looks like. You know what I mean? I believe that you
Exactly.
guys, you guys have a platform, and you have a way that you're doing it, and it appears that it's work. If you're in 6 cities across the nation, I mean, come on, let's be 7, let's be 8, let's grind this
Exactly.
thing, and let's help the youth any way that we can.
Yeah, and this is exactly how, you know, we like for things to happen. Like, you know, when we got into, say, LA, we got into Chicago, it was through an organic connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, because,
Yeah,
you know, a lot of times in the nonprofit world, and like even in the space you in, you know, I'm sure you deal with nonprofits all the time. Everybody
I
trying
am
to
a
scale.
nonprofit, just so you
Right.
know. I work for one,
Okay.
but yeah. Hmm.
But everybody trying to scale, right? You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
that word, right? Everybody trying to like grow in a
Hmm.
certain way. And I feel like I've had to fight that, you know what I'm saying? Because this is really like how I like to grow organically. And
Hmm.
it's kind of a snail's pace, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
Hmm.
I think it yields more results, you know what I'm saying? When I get to build with someone that, you know, is actually a person that shares, you know, aligned values, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
um yeah, bro, I'm open to collaborate any which way. I really honestly like to just kind of visit the cities, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
see what's going on, jump in, you know, have the youth and have the spaces where these kinds of youth kind of like, you know, coalesce, like, you know,
Hmm.
just show face there, you know,
Yeah.
give out
Yeah.
shirts, do a workshops, do, you know what I'm saying? Just first
Hmm.
and foremost, like, you know what I'm saying? Before
Yeah.
you start setting up shop, like, you know,
Yeah.
so that's my vibe really.
Yeah, well, I think you hit the margin too when you say growing something organically. You know what I mean? I mean, those things, these processes, they take time. So it's something that you do. You will have to come down here, and I mean, I can assure you, I can set some things up. Maybe the first 1 or 2 times you come down won't be a huge event. You know what I mean? But we can politic with some people and at least get the name and get the nonprofit organization put out there, and see who else will grab part of this kite and fly it with us. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I welcome that opportunity anytime, man. Like, I mean, offline, I can tell you a little bit more about what I got going on, but that's not for this, you know what I mean, Portia. But you're always welcome, man. Just know that I can show you around.
Right on, right on. Yeah. So honestly, man, that was, that was really the purpose of me wanting to jump on this call. Like, I mean, if there's anything else that I think like you want to talk about, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so
and I think for me it was just trying to understand it. So you said it's called Young Vets V.
yeah, we called the Young Vets.
Okay,
Hmm.
all right. How'd you guys come up with that name?
So that the name is, you know, a childhood, just kind of in the street, like, New York City basketball, you know, at in the tournaments, in the throes
Mhm.
of a basketball game, and someone getting a name, and everyone getting like a certain kind of like, swag
Mhm.
attached to the way that they
I
play,
got
right?
you.
Like, and it was given to a mentor of mine, actually, like,
Hmm.
and I, in New York City, right? Like, you're just in close proximity with so many people that, like, just everybody got a mentor, and like
Hmm.
everybody's big brother, little brother, you
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Hmm.
It's that kind of thing. And like, one of the older homies, you know what I'm saying, like, was called the
Hmm.
Young Vet, and we all looked up to him because he was like really like the model,
Yeah.
like he just a model citizen, period. Like, he
Right.
had
Right. Right.
swag,
Right.
he was nice and bold. He
Hmm.
did the school thing, but the school thing wasn't all that he did. He played the streets. He just did everything well.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
he was a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
so like really just extrapolating the idea of just like, having, just high levels of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And high
Gotcha.
levels of just like, just knowledge and game
Hmm.
to share, even though you're young.
Hmm.
And really looking at that as a concept. And like I said, with the youth that we like to serve, is like really like, you know, honoring their past. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the young vet just felt like a perfect fit. It felt like what we all were. You know what I'm saying? It felt like what everybody is in the streets. You know what I'm saying? To some degree, like, you know, once you peel out and you kind of get into like the workforce and the working world, you really realize like, yo, my upbringing, like what I went through, like no, like not many people would understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, so like I feel like that in and of itself kind of positions you as a somewhat of a vet, you know? So that's why I like just looking at these young people as opposed to calling them criminals, as opposed to calling them like fuck ups to some degree. It's like, nah, you're actually a vet of life. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to honor that.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. I like that concept. I like how you guys picked that out. And to honor your man too. You know what I mean? Somebody that a lot of people appears that, you know, looked up to him. That's what's, is he still breathing? He's alive?
He is, yeah, he is. And
And that's dope.
he's doing his thing too. It's crazy how it's like his trajectory just like continues to grow. Like you know, he's in the community. So it's like he's like the perfect person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no one had any clue like where his life was gonna go. He just was like a saucy dude in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like and but now he's like, you know, just affiliated in like local government. He's also just like just an integral part of like, you know, just a pillar in the community. You know, it's like so he is alive.
That's what's, and it's good when you have that. I mean, you know, it appears maybe you're a little bit younger than he was, but you had somewhat of a role model if you didn't have it in your home. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes this is all the kids like really need. You know what I mean? I tell the kids here when they sit with me, I'm like, hey, instead of robbing somebody, like if you need $20, just come ask me for it. You know what I mean? Like, why you don't catch a felony behind a $20 bag of weed? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like stealing cell phones. What are you doing? Work for the cell phone. It's only gonna run you $30, $40 a month. Like, get that money, get you, you know. So I try to help them out, man. And my boss, she was saying, you know, we would love to do like a mentoring program with you, but like, you know, because we're nonprofit, we have a couple different arms that we deal with, you know. So I'm not like in my head, I'm not even sure if we can bridge. And this is maybe, you know, the fifth conversation from now, right? Where I'm just in my head now. I'm in my head. My thoughts are, how do we bridge you with the nonprofit in which I work for? You know what I mean? Because we get funding from Juvenile Justice, JJAC, which is a community of people that believe in like our vision, criminal justice alternatives, and what we do. So, is it a way? And is that why we're together? You know what I mean? Like just to bridge it, like you would still be your own entity, but how do you bring that here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, if we have to do it organically and pound the pavement, that's really simple. You know what I mean? Like I know where these courts are. Like I've been to them. Like I've been to these young people's, you know, sporting events, and you know, I have two
100%.
daughters through school and high school, so I know some kids. You know what I mean? And I know some troubled kids that are on my program too. You know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I feel like, you know, whether it be through, because I understand there's always red tape when you're dealing with kind of organizational stuff. Like I've been doing this for 8 years, and like honestly, it's one of the biggest, like, you know, kind of I don't know, like I would say like, you know, letdowns of like, you know, kind of trying to do things like in you know, with kind of leading with your heart, right? Like, you know, just having all the red tape and everything kind of stopping you, and like, you know, just and it's all right. I get it that things have to, you know, happen for various reasons, and a lot of it's important, but like really like just meeting you is important to me because it's like I said, the organic connection and the alignment of values, and then like you acting as like a liaison, like being someone that works in the field that you do, and having access to the kids. That's really what's important. Like like formal partnerships and things like that. Like like you said, fifth conversation. You know, you got to iron that stuff out. Like, but honestly, there really is no pressure for me on that. It really is the hardest part is really finding a you in every city. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know.
I think you had mentioned, or maybe it was Dr. Ben. Was it you or him that mentioned like 10 in each? Is it 10 in each state? Is that what you're like?
It's 10 a year. So it's like a really, really small, you know, we like to call it boutique style, you know, boutique style summer program. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas like we only offer like, you know, access to a very few, because the idea is to give that few the most like lavish and like high quality experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we end up picking 1 to 2 per city. You know, and so that's how it works, you know, and as we grow, like, you know, it'll mean that we probably have to decrease the amount we take per city, but I'm okay with that because I love the cohort model when it's like everybody from a different hood. It's just fun, you know what I'm saying? It really is. You know what I'm saying? You got kids from the south side of Chicago, you got kids from, you know, North Philly, whatever, right? Like East Harlem, New York. You got them from, you know, South Central LA. Like when they get together, their minds is blown because they're like, yo, we different, but we not, you know?
Yeah. So is this something that, like, now you mentioned like summer program, is this, or is it a year commitment from the kids, from us, excuse me, from hoops to the children?
Yeah, it's a 6-year commitment for us. Like once you become a young vet, like in that first year is that year where we, like, you know, really kind of introduce you and allow for you to earn your way in, right? Like, so you're not actually in. So it's like it's a 6-year track. Like when you get into we get accepted, you will be a sophomore in between your sophomore and junior year, so 15, you know, that age range, 14, 15, 16. And then you return the next year for for a whole different type of programming where you'll be mentoring the cohort that's coming in that's new, right? Like we give them the responsibility, that cohort that, you know, was just kind of like newbies, and then they come back for the junior to senior year, like that summer. They mentor and do a whole different, like more individualized track of a program. And then we mentor through college or 4 years of whatever you choose. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't really push college. I'm a heavy advocate for, you know,
Trades.
most definitely
Yeah,
trade,
I
but
mean, it's
but just not isolating college. You know, like that's really like college is like, yo, you want to do it, you got a plan. You know what I'm saying? It's like really looking at college differently. You know, like it is an option, but it ain't the best option. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not for everybody. Most of the time. So yeah, so we commit 6 years, and you know, we came up with that number 4 because 4 is usually what, you know, how long it takes for someone to get a bachelor's degree. So you know, and then after 4, you know, you're just in our alumni network, and you know, we call upon you to either work, talk, you know what I'm saying, like help us be liaisons on the ground, whatever city you in, you know what I'm saying, like promote and I, you know, we just growing a network of young people that, like, you know what I'm saying, have, you know, turned their lives around.
Yeah.
So
that's dope. I'm kind of feeling that concept, man. I don't know how we get the cryptocurrency involved, but I'm sure, you know, that's these area line of interest, man. I mean, he got me into it and I'm loving the space, but I mean, that's a full-time job in itself, you know what I mean? Trying to understand
for sure.
that. But I absolutely love it. He got me involved probably like a solid 2 years ago, and I hit the ground running, and things are panning out. But I love basketball. Again, that was my first love, my first true love. I still play some pickup ball at the Gardner Rec Center where I'm at down here.
Right.
Playing the 40 and over league I did 2 years ago. I took last year off, just going through some things. But yeah, still love playing ball, man. It's one of those things, you know, it's like riding a bike. I mean, you don't forget how to do it. Nice, short, nice. You know? I think I missed my calling because I didn't have something like Young Vets to really push me through and get to college and get those ACTs and SAT scores and you know, pound the books. Like that's important, you know, in a young guy's life. You know what I mean?
Talk about it. I feel the same way, bro. I feel like I was way better than what, you know what I'm saying, like what my peak was, you know. And I think that's why I created this vehicle, you know, because I was like, yo, still we're blessed, you know what I'm saying, like, because like absolutely. You know, like when you really come from, you know what I'm saying, like the trenches, as we call it, like, you know, you really with those kids that's like they don't even get to see a opportunity, you know what I'm saying, like, and then basketball just still allowed me to travel, still allowed me to, like, even though like I didn't have a Young Vets, I didn't have like the complete full package of mentors and like, you know what I'm saying, guides around me to help me take it to the next level.
Right.
I'm still sitting in this position, and that's what that's what like kind of, you know, where the light bulb hit for me. That was like, yo, now we gotta like really expand our ideas of what success looks like in this game. You know what I'm saying, and in this whole sporting world, like, but you know, to kind of touch on the whole crypto thing. What I can get into kind of what I've been talking to Ben about, which is like, you know, honestly, I really feel like crypto, as it relates to the nonprofit world, it's an amazing, like, I think it has amazing potential. I feel so. Like I was recently in Austin, Texas, and Austin is apparently heavy on the crypto, you know. And you know, they've got a bunch of billboards downtown where they're like promoting like, you know, cryptocurrency, like, you know, just I guess trying to get people on it, you know. And they've got these like profound statements. One of them was like, I think it was something like cryptocurrency, like crypto is going to like fund the revolution or something like that. And I was like, yo, I fucked with that. You know what I'm saying? On a conceptual level, like I thought that was really like really dope, because like, you know, crypto being this like, you know, kind of like just out there, like, you know what I'm saying, non-traditional way to like, you know what I'm saying, like look at money and see money, move money. And understanding that like the US dollar and like how, you know, in this country, like, you know what I'm saying, like philanthropy, like working in nonprofits, like how there's so much bureaucratic stuff you got to deal with, so much like kind of just procedural, like antiquated way of doing things that like a lot of times like you'll get a program like, and especially like mine, because I've always tried to do it different, like when, and because it's like, you know what I'm saying, like backed and looked at with research and all this shit from these lenses that are like, honestly, like it's just, it's old, you know what I'm saying? Like what's needed for these kids needs to be new, you know what I'm saying? So like there ends up being a lot of bottlenecking and a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of shit that like, you know, doesn't get passed through, or doesn't get the light of day. Like, so I just feel like crypto could be that space to allow for like new and radical ideas and nonprofits, or for nonprofits to try risky things, like, you know, going like for me is, for example, like going into media, you know what I'm saying, like wanting to create entertainment and different forms of media to inspire and educate youth, you know what I'm saying, like whereas like that may not be looked at as a service from a traditional lens, as like, yo, this is what nonprofits do, you know what I'm saying, like it's like, you know, being this like radical space that crypto is, like you can engage that community and like fundraise for these things, right, like, and really like even put dollars behind the research that goes to that. So I just feel like the fact that crypto is bread, you know what I'm saying, like the fact that crypto is just about bread and about, you know what I'm saying, like you know, at its core to some degree, like I just feel like that alone like is vital, because like, as you know, I know you got to know this, right, like especially being in North Carolina, I'm sure like bread is the be the main, like, you know what I'm saying, deterrent or lubricant, you know what I'm saying, like for shit moving smoothly, you know what I'm saying, like
no, it's a vital part, like you said. So I mean, I can see my head is just spinning trying to like, you know, like the how, right? And I'm sure you guys are talking about that behind the scene, which is fine. And again, I think this is just one of many conversations that we have, because I believe that just hearing it, like I'm interested. You know what I mean? Like how I can help. Again, like I'm not. To me, they would say like it's not about the bread for me. Like I've had less and I've had a lot more. I'm in a really good position in life. Like in my life, do you tell you like, no way, like I was going to be an officer, and people I know people that I grew up with like, what? Like you know what I mean? And
right.
Lord has some other things, but now I run a house arrest program for like the largest county. Well, Mecklenburg is bigger than us down in Charlotte, but we're growing fast, but we are the capital city. You know what I mean? So, but to think like that my life would consist of me speaking to judges and DAs, like, nah, I wouldn't even have thought that for myself. You know what I mean? But like I sit in this seat, like I overlook Main Street, Fayetteville Street, downtown Raleigh. You know what I mean? Like I'm blessed, man. So how can I give it back? You know, I'm talking a lot about like purpose and stuff like that. Like we all have a purpose. You know what I mean? We got to figure out what that is. And this just seems like a really cool concept, man. And you want to duplicate it, and you want to get it in more than 6 cities. And again, I mean, we can hit the ground, you know, down here. We can pound it, man. Me and you come down anytime. Just let me know. I'll clear my schedule, you know, and we can work some things out, man. This is cool. I appreciate you guys even just thinking about me. I know D thought about me, you know what I mean, just because he knows who I am and what I come from. But it's just interesting how this is even a thing right now.
I for sure feel like I for sure appreciate Ben. He's always connecting dots, his mind always moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just like, yo, Cese, you need to meet this guy, sounding similar. So, you know, I it's funny because like the South, like, you know, there's I don't know, like I guess like that's, you know, if I've spent time in Texas, I know that there's like a, you know, I guess, you know, geographical, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, words like that, like, kind of place like and kind of segment, areas of the country. And I know the South is like, just pretty like dormant and like not really represented area for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know that I need to get out there because I like, if we try to make the most like holistic and inclusive, you know what I'm saying, and creative and fire experience for these kids, like we got to bring this element, you know what I'm saying, or that element of culture, that element of like, of specifically hoop culture, you know what I'm saying, like street culture that comes from North Carolina. I know is different, you know what I'm saying. I know that, and I'm sure even like those surrounding areas, so like to that, like with the crypto and stuff like that, like I feel like those who've like I guess amassed like a certain amount of like success in crypto, you know what I'm saying, like kind of looking for ways to direct those that excess, that abundance, you know what I'm saying, somewhere like I feel like that there's this conversation, and this might be like too meta philosophical of a conversation, but like whatever, I'm gonna go for it. But like I think about this a lot because I think about like people's roles, right? Like it seems like you in a unique position because like you on the ground with youth, you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing what you do, but you're saying you in the crypto space and you have experienced some levels of abundance and success. And like usually it's like one or the other, right? Like usually it's like somebody's just full-time crypto, like in the computer, like don't really got no, and I feel like that there's like a longing for like, what am I gonna do, and I think like to those people, and especially if you have access to them, I would hope you could relate to them that like just even like getting bread and moving it to the right places is a critical piece, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying, like that,
absolutely.
Like, and just about finding like what you align with, you know what I'm saying, and like not even really needing much more than that, honestly. Like I know people want to get their hands dirty and want to be like involved in a certain way, but like I feel like if there's more of a conversation around like pieces to the puzzle, you know what I'm saying, like and then so the crypto community is like kind of like harnessed and catalyzed in that way. It's like, yo, y'all did y'all job by getting this bread, you know what I'm saying, now y'all moving it to this thing, right? Like, and now it's about holding people accountable to do it. I feel like that there's a collective purpose we all could serve, you know what I'm saying, like that shit is.
But like you said, I mean, everybody brings something to the table, right? Like nobody wants dead weight, especially with a program like this. Like it has several moving parts. You know what I mean? I mean, you're committing, and I say you, but you're committing to a 6-year like commitment to these kids.
Right.
If them just hearing it, it's not like, hey, I'm a big brother, right? You can call me if you need me, right? Oh no, there's steps, there's foundational steps. All right, so this is our foundation. You're coming in your freshman, sophomore year, whatever have you, 14, 15, 16, whatever. But we're gonna be with you until you're 22, right? Like that in their head, they have to be like, wait, what? Like somebody wants to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that builds a rapport, but it also like shows the community too, like what you're trying to do is accomplish far more than what like some big brother and after school program may say that they're doing, right? I feel like some nonprofits really just take it and run with it, and just it's almost like a disservice to some of these kids. I think you bowed out, brother.
Yeah, I've been listening in on just kind of the vibe here, and oh yeah, Cese just popped back on.
Yeah. Let me just grab some water, gentlemen. Let me grab water. Give me like 20 seconds, please.
All right. Cese, is there anything that I could do at all? Just I haven't really been fully here, but I just kind of I listened to the last like 5-10 minutes.
I think like I'm enjoying the conversation. It's definitely like flowing. Like I feel like facilitator might help to like get to poignant questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, but other than that, I'm vibing. It feels good. We chilling.
All right, cool. Is there any action steps that came out of this conversation, or any follow-ups that are going to be had?
I think I think for me, again, this is kind of like our first little conversation. I've kind of gotten a little bit more understanding of what Young Vets represents. We talked about the crypto being involved with it as well. So I think this is, I personally feel like it's one of many conversations. Again, I think it was organic from the core. And I think it was easy to kind of speak regarding just some of the stuff that we did talk about. It wasn't forced, you know what I mean? So I definitely feel a connection. Being from New York myself, and understanding what the accomplishment is, I'm liking what I'm hearing. So um, I don't think there's any true action steps at this point, but yeah, I'd like to set up another conversation. You know, whether that be on or off. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I felt the same way. Like I saw, I thought like I thought by the end of it we were gonna like be like, yo, when do we chop it up next? You know what I'm saying? Like, because just like building organically is the most important aspect. You know, there's no need to rush. Just continue to get to know each other, learn to find the details of like what we each do, and then find those intersections. And then like on the crypto conversation, obviously like Ben, you integral to that. But just really understanding like how to leverage that community, and I feel like the more conversations happen, like that's going to emerge. So but I really am excited. It's funny because like my brother a long time ago was like, and I feel crazy because literally 2013, as far as that, you know what I'm saying, that was when I started the Young Vets, and he was like, yo, get into Bitcoin. He was telling me, he was like,
Damn it.
I know. That's like scratching my head just like that. Just
one of them.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I guess what I'm curious about, gentlemen, just because both of you have been delivering services for so long to a similar type of demographic, what does that, I guess, what are like some of the possibilities that open up, or some of the shortcomings that you see are kind of not happening because of the lack of funds being directed towards these types of services and programs and offerings, for the demographics? If we had $1 million or $2 million in crypto that came to us that we could do, I mean, obviously, Cese, we've had these conversations, but I'm curious from Marlon's perspective. And then, yeah, if after Marlon says something, Cese, if you want to relay something totally different than what we've been talking about, just like what are we really able to do with all of a sudden $1 million or $2 million injection with no strings attached of how it gets utilized and directed?
So I think for me, again, I was telling C's like I'm the director of monitoring for Wake County, right? It's a huge county. I'm downtown Raleigh is where my office is. I see kids coming here every day, for the most part, and if not every day, like I know kids that are balling, whether it be football, basketball, to be too notable and mentioned. I think for me, I know like there has been. I work for a nonprofit now. I think for me, I have seen a couple programs just kind of dwindle out, right? Funding, the
right.
funding source is a little different. I mean, $1 million, I think is a nice cushion. 2 million, yeah, we can probably get something started. But again, however that money is allocated would have to, be discussed between y'all. I don't really have anything to do with that. But I think the commitment that young vets have for the young youth, I think a 6-year commitment is huge. It's not like we're just going to ride with them until, oh wait, one of the wheels fell off, so we're done, right? And I'm sure there's some leeway behind all of that, but I think with it being a 6-year commitment to a student or two, or to a young, athlete, child here, I think that's huge. So again, how that money is allocated, understanding no strings attached, but there has to be a trail, right? Because we need to figure out what works and what doesn't work, especially in this area. Like because it works in LA might not work here, for whatever reason. But if you're duplicating the same thing in the 6 cities that you're in, then like let's not change the formula, right? Maybe just the format just a little bit. So it's just something that I think has to happen. Again, we keep saying authentic, organic, like, let's see what it looks like. I think things change is constant, right? That's inevitable. Change is always going to happen. So like what works and what doesn't work. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Ben. Can be winded sometimes.
Yeah, nah, for sure. It's more of a creative. I'm just trying to spark some creativity in the dialogue. That's what I really kind of get juiced about talking about, is like what's possible, that thinking outside the box, thinking outside of what a typical nonprofit thinks to do. Because I imagine that you're just focused on the essential services, the essential components that allow you to at least say that you fulfilled the mission that your organization has. But a lot of the times you're playing defense. And I'm just talking about, if we had excess funds, how could we play offense and
Yeah.
expand? That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and I think you nail it there. Like, you know, I'm governed by a contract, right? In my contract, it's a service, right? And sometimes it's a disservice. I'll just be brutally honest, right? I
Yeah.
can't. I always spend time with my juveniles that come through here. Like they sit here in my office and we chat, we rat, and I kind of speak. I told Cese to it too. You know, instead of going out like you need $20, just let me know. A lot of them just need somebody that they know is going to be there, right? And I can't be there 110%. I break my work plan every single time I'm having a dialogue or a conversation with these kids. But my heart is for the person, right? It's not for like I know why I'm here. This is part of my purpose. You know what I mean? So I fulfill that at any given time that I can. I'm always going to try to take the time to speak to the youth for sure.
Cease, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna wrap it. I was just gonna wrap the conversation up with kind of like, you taking it from there after what he said, and then if Marlon wants to say one more thing, and then I'll wrap it. Just want to acknowledge your guys' time, and I appreciate you guys taking the time. I'll watch this back a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Marlon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, first, yeah, I appreciate both your time. Thanks, Ben, for having me here. But like what I'll add to that is, and even like kind of springboarding off like the question you asked Ben about $1 million, like Marlon is right. You know what I'm saying? Like in the space of like programming and like just running a business nonprofit, right? Like just when you make hires, your operational core, all that stuff. Like yeah, $1 million to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like started and like what I'm saying, and like really like moving in the right direction. But there has to be kind of a mechanism to like really like be seeing money come through the door. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like really being like if there's a $1 million, being creative about like revenue streams that like can help inject and infuse money. You know what I'm saying? Like on a consistent basis, so that these things are happening at a high level, consistently. But when I think about like like just programming and like money, like, and I feel like just what would a certain amount of money do? I'm always thinking like the goal is to like change a kid's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and on a youth, because like that's for me just like logically, like what I believe like gives me the highest chances of each moment that I spend with a kid, I can like break whatever barriers in his or her brain, right? Like that's preventing them from like changing or making better choices, right? Like so, like if I were to to be kind of injected with $1 million, like that's what literally I would be thinking. Like how do I make like this young vets, like let's call it like I think highly of, so let's call it a BMW, right? Like how do we make that John into a Rolls Royce? You feel me? Like and just like and all its working parts, and even like the aspects of its aesthetics and like cultural relevance, right? Like the most impactful that it could be. You know what I'm saying? So I've like I've toyed and I've like just even prototype like buying land and then having space where like we can have access to youth, like what I'm saying, like for a certain amount of time intimately with them, you know what I'm saying, like where we could bring like the best possible resources and facilities to them. Like those are the types of things that I would do, you know what I'm saying, being that the model that I work under is like summer program, right? Like, so it's like they're already kind of coming in and we already have to house them. So making all of those experiences like the top of the highest quality it can be, right? Like, and having it really reflect like what someone that, you know, lives in the top 1% of this country looks like. You know what I'm saying? I really believe it's those experiences that really start to shape the brain. Like, yo, this is what I have access to. This is what I deserve, right? Like, how do I need to, you know, behave, and what does it mean to get this, you know? So um that on the creative front, like, you know what I'm saying, is what I feel like, you know, would is where I would take, like, you know what I'm saying, $1 million, like inject it into, like, you know what I'm saying, YV right now. But like, obviously, like, you know, to me, the most important thing, you know what I'm saying, I would prioritize creating revenue streams, which for us, because we're a brand, we're boutique, and I didn't tell you this, Marlon, but like we worked with Adidas, we worked with Nike, and you know, we had like, you know, little like kind of collaborations, like, you know, related to apparel. So what your Young Vets has a cultural relevance in the streets that's like, you know, that's really important to me, and it's really important to the brand, you know, like we've always like been a nonprofit back end, but like on the front end to the streets, like to the world, bro, like it looks like a brand. And I've always wanted that. That's why when you look at our promo material, it looks like that. You know, because I've always been trying to build a household brand. So I would work towards doing that, so that revenue generating, you know what I'm saying, streams like apparel, like media, like, you know, have higher like likelihood of actually sticking and working, you know. So and just literally, like, you know, just like any other business, like, you know, like, doing the best you can to make the most amount of money possible so that you have access to doing whatever it is that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would look at $1 million. It would be like almost like a seed investment, you know what I'm saying, towards like building somewhat of an enterprise. Like, and I don't know, like I know that there's people that do things. I've seen, like, you know, models like, you know, like Tom's. There's even some production houses that exist that make content similar to how I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've yet to see, and I know I'm biased, but like, you know, something like Young Vets that speaks to the type of youth that we work with. You know what I'm saying? Like that has, like, you know, the type of brand attached to it. You know, that you know, it really like kind of like resonates with the cultural vibe that we working in. You know, so yeah, that's where I would that's where I'll end what I'm saying. I can go on forever about this, honestly, but
you know, that's all right. You got passion for it, man. It's your thing, and that's dope. You know, I can hear the passion in you. So, you know, I'm up for whatever's next. You know what I mean? Another conversation between us all. Maybe we all get together, fly somewhere, you know, and have a sit down. You know, I'm always game for that too. My schedule's somewhat flexible, as long as I don't have my son. But yeah, I look forward to the next conversation. Hopefully there is one. You know, how can I help you guys launch here? You know, and that's really what it's about for me. You know, if there's other cards that are going to be played or on the table, then we'll talk about that too. You know, but I'm doing this off the strength of my boy D. He asked me to get on a call and chit chat with you guys. Certainly will. Regardless, I'm here to help if y'all need it. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No,
Thank you. I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for your time, yo. Like,
for sure. Anytime. Seriously. You know, you can ask D for my number. Get it from you know, Dr. Ben. You guys can have my number. Just call me at, you know, random. It don't matter. Just want to run something by. We can make it happen.
Right on.
Dr. Ben might be on a body right now.
Yeah, most likely cracking somebody up. Yeah, man. That's what it is, though. I appreciate that. That's, I think, you know, I feel like, you know, Ben really wants to catalyze like the creative conversation, and I really appreciate that about him. I just feel like, you know, you can take bread and you can start to infuse it kind of like more in a traditional sense, like, you know, how, like, you know, businesses think now, nonprofits think now. And I feel like there's value there, of course, because, you know, like the work that's being done out there is valuable, but, you know, I'm always just like, you know, like him, you know, wanting to think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Like what's possible if you have like this, you know, these kinds of dollars that are already coming from this like radical space. You know what I'm saying? Like to infuse something that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what, you know, that gets me going. You know what I'm saying? Because to be real, like, you know, I spent like the first 8 years doing this, and like, you know, like most people who work in like this kind of service world, like you experience a little bit of a burnout.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and I did, and so like I heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I realized like, yo, I got to make this sustainable for myself. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I figured that out through you know, film, you know, TV production and things like that. You know,
Yeah.
and understanding that like those things don't have to be, you know what I'm saying, like exclusive. You know what I'm saying, like. Or like, you know, separate from each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they can work in tandem. You know.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, as you say something like that, just I don't know, it hits me. Just make sure that you seek the help. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, because that burnout is serious, and that's in any profession. But when you're in a nonprofit and you have to go out there and get it, like it's completely different. Like, I mean, I think it would do so much justice if your program, if your nonprofit, Young Vets, was able to secure $1 million, funding source, like through crypto, whatever that is. Like, I don't know if you've ever done that, and that's not for you even to tell me. I'm just saying, like, $1 million, you can do some work with that. You can get some leverage. Like, an old guy that I know, full of wisdom, he said everything in life can be enhanced, right? So he's like yourself, and he put it so easy for me. He was like, you get a car, now you put tints, on your Cadillac that you got. Now you want rims. He goes, you're enhancing it. You're making it look better. You're making it better, in yours eyes. But the world's vision could be different. Why did he do that, right? But you have to find it within yourself to be easy on yourself. Ask for that help. Don't seek burnout, man. Not that you seek it. That was wrong for me to say seek, but just make sure you're not setting yourself up for that burnout. And I'm sure it looks like you maybe handled that, which is a good thing. Like, I'm learning to ask for help in my age. You know what I mean? Like,
I appreciate that, because I mean, you so right, because regardless if like I'm intentionally seeking it or not, burnout is right around the corner. It could just be one thing that gets you going. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's even whether you figured it out for the season, right? Like next project comes up, and now you got your head buried in it again, and you about to burn out again. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's real. It is real. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We could I'll definitely get your contact information from Ben, and
I mean, if you got a pen, I'll go ahead and read it off to you right now. That way you got it, man.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, for sure.
919-949-0632. You could just shoot me a quick text. You know what I mean? Saying
so 919-949-0632.
That's correct.
Right on. I'll send you a text when we jump off of here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, just stay in touch, man. And I hope that's cool with Dr. Ben. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really know the structure of all of this and how it's going. If you guys are, doing something, conversation has to be like this. I'm cool with it too,
Right. I'm curious to know something, unless you don't have time, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, but like, just came to me, you know what I'm saying? Like what aspect of the crypto world like mostly excites you, and what you'd be really like, what has kind of like yielded the most fun and most success for you?
So I got in about a solid year and a couple months ago, and it started with like a couple bucks, but now I found myself like anything extra, I'm in, and that's kind of how my makeup is, right? So if I'm a play ball, I'm going all in. If I'm going to do that, I'm all in. If we're going out, I'm all in.
Right.
Changes, you know what I mean? Because I'm enhancing myself as I get older. I don't need to be out like that. But I think for me right now is like truly like this whole metaverse thing that's going on. Like it is, because I don't want to say like we didn't miss the boat even on crypto. Like we talk about 2013, your brother was like, yeah, crypto, Bitcoin. Like imagine, like what if? But we can't even talk about that, right? That's gone. That's done and over with. So now focus on what we can focus on, right? In this metaverse thing, these NFTs, like I'm in a couple Discords, and I know this guy, and he literally bought one for 2 Solana coin yesterday. Let's just say Solana coin was, I don't know, $93, $100. So he bought it for $200. In 15 minutes, he flipped it and made $2,700. then screenshot that the dude that bought it from him flipped it another 15 minutes later and got 4,500 for it. Like, and like
30
money,
minutes.
yeah, money used to excite me, like, but now it's like I don't. It's not about the money. Like, it's just a cool space, man. And what I recognize, anybody that's in crypto is willing to share. Do you know what I mean? They're willing to share their knowledge. They're willing to share, hey, this is where I faulted. Like, I went down to Miami with my boy Dave, and I went down there, and it was crazy. Like, this one dude post, I don't know if you know him, Legend, like, good dude, you know, shout out to him for real. Like, he has his own NFT project. He's like, yo, I heard you got rugged. He's like, I hate that for new guys. He's like, yo, I'm gonna give you this doodle duck. And I was like, bro, you don't even know me. Like, sell it. You know what I mean? Like, so, and the floor is moving, and I could get money from it. Like, and I'm not talking thousands of dollars yet, but I'm talking several hundred. But like, it's a community of people. Like, even the vibe when I was hanging out with I was hanging out. It was like a Bored Ape club. You know what I mean? Like, I do not have a Bored Ape. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was just love. Like, it was weird love. It's not love that we're used to. I feel
Right.
more when I say that. Like, it's not love that I'm used to. Hey, you got your thing and you're gonna keep on grinding. You're not gonna share like how you did that, right? Because of the upbringing. But this crypto space, I mean, I've met several people, man, and they just reach out, yo, how's your day going? Hey, this coin, like, think about it. You know what I mean? Do more research, but I'm all in, you know, and it's like, okay, let me put something to that. Oh shit, it popped. I should have put more. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's crazy, bro, to think about.
I mean, that was winded, but
no, you answered my question, and you got me thinking. It's like, you know, this is that like, you know, the crypto space, right? Like, has really introduced you to a whole new way of like looking at money and looking at like kind of community. And I think like that's the shit that we missing when people talk about like the upbringing of like poor folks or certain like, you know, ethnic groups, right? Like, oh wow, how come there's no progression, right? It's like it's literally because of that. I mean, people just somebody just giving you a piece of artwork that's gonna make you hundreds now, thousands later, just on some like cause I met you and I fuck with you. Like that's the type of that's the type of shit like we conditioned in the whole opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like like that's real dope to me. It makes me want to jump into, you know what I'm saying, NFT metaverse type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, that's the type of vibe I want to be around. You know, I want to be around people sharing.
Yeah, and it's new. I mean, he didn't have to tell us this. You know, and what I recognize too, it's a giving community. Again, like I watch these dudes move. Like, when they see somebody homeless, like, here's some bread. Like, they don't I don't think any of them, and I say any of them, and I only know who I know, but I think there may be a fraction that is like, nah, this is me. But a lot of them are like, nah, this is like, the world is good. Like, this thing has, I mean, it has made millionaires overnight, man. Like, it's just generous, just the generosity that comes out of it. And I know, like, there was times where I was hungry, man, you know what I mean, growing up. So to see this space, like, I want the type of money that brings me freedom. You know what I mean? If I feel like punching a clock, I can, but I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not just saying that in crypto, that's in anything. Because if I leave that job, like, I love what I do because I get to interact with the youth. I do, and I love that component of my position. That's my purpose, right? I know that's why I'm here. But I think for me, like, if I leave here, like, it's gonna be my own thing. I'm not punching the clock no more. You know? So,
like, I don't mean to ask you a personal question, but like, you know, I'm gonna throw it out there. Like, do you have any idea of like where you would take like your own venture?
So, I mean, I want to work smarter, not harder, right? So I have an ability, like, I detail cars from like a young age, man, and I still charge people $400 or $500 a car down here, and they're like, how much? I'm like, you're not looking at a car wash. This is a detail. So like, that stuff, like, even I talk to the youth, I'm like, you can come and help me clean a car. I'll give you $200. If we make it 400, I'll give you two. You just learning, like, learn something. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna go hang out with your people. You're gonna go ahead and detail a car. That's $400 in your pocket. That's cash money. You know what I mean? So I think about doing that, getting a crew together. You know, but again, because I'm not gonna be busting my knuckles like I do. I'll spend 5 hours on a car, man. You know what I mean? But that's $500. Like, I'll do that. $100 an hour. That's lawyer money. You know what I mean?
Right.
there's that. There's there's the crypto space. It really is. I mean, if I get the right lick, like I'm out. Like it's a wrap for them here. You know what I mean? There's a couple other, real estate. I have two rental investments. I'd like to get, I'd honestly like to own a 200 unit complex at one time. Like that's because then you can retire off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Definitely,
taxes gonna be
definitely.
heavy, but you're gonna be in a good spot. You know what I mean? So my rental investments are doing well. I mean, I'm getting over $1,500 a month on those. My mortgage is only 1426 where I'm at. I have a 3,000 square foot crib here.
Damn.
So yeah, so I mean, there's too many ways to make money. Like Gary V. Like I listen to him, and I'm like, I'm just gonna start going to yard sales and buying mugs. You know what I mean, dude? It's like,
Right.
this mug is $90. I paid 25 cents. Like what? There's no reason why people should be broke. If you have the broke mentality, that's where you're gonna stay, right? So, and I think that, like you said, condition. You used the word condition. I think a lot of people in impoverished neighborhoods, they're conditioned that this is all I'm going to have.
Right.
Somebody has to hit them over the head and be like, that's not all you can get, though. I mean, there's, I don't. Again, I'm not a millionaire, but I don't sweat money. Like I'm in a good spot only because I've done the right thing through the years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mailbox money. That's what I'm interested in. I want to go to the fucking mailbox and let it stop being bills. Like, nah, checks are coming in the mail monthly. You know what I mean? And that's a good feeling, man. That's a good feeling. So the month of December, like any tenants that I ever have, if I get 200 units, like y'all got December off. That's my blessing to you and your family. You know what I mean? Like I grew up poor. You know what I mean?
Right.
The December, like when I let the two tenants, they were like, "Are you sure? Like, you serious? Who does that?" I'm like, "Nah, like, I have to understand. I'm doubling. You're doubling my mortgage. Like, I'm gonna give you the month off. We're good. You know what I mean? Just take care of this stuff. Take care of the spot that you got. They're good. They're good investments. So, but again, getting some of these younger kids now, while there's still time to switch their stinking thinking, like you gotta uncondition them, man. I'm not supposed to be where I'm at today. I'm not. I'm just not. My brother lives with my mother. He's older. My sister lives with my mother, like up there in New York. And it's like, yo, y'all not gonna get out of the house. Like, y'all comfortable like this? Like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't see that for me. So
Right. Right.
again, condition, man. Condition one way or the next. It's good.
Nah, yeah, that's fire. Those valid points. Like I feel like the aspect of like, teaching young people how to get money, you know what I'm saying? Like even if it's like outside of a trade, kind of
Mhm.
you described,
Yeah.
alone is like, just super heavy and empowering.
There's
Like,
value, man. I think some people are so devalued again, and because they're devalued because of the conditioning, like they can't see outside of that. They can't see outside of the block, right? Like I go to school, I come back, I hit the block. I
right.
go to school, like now I'm cutting class, I'm smoking, but I'm going back to the block. Like there's too many streets in the world. Like get out there and see the world. Like I, I don't know. I'm a lover of many things, man. To see people stay where they're at. Like when I go back to New York, some of my people still doing the same thing from 12 years ago, from 20 years ago. I'm 43. Like when we was 2018, 19, 20, you're still going out Thursday. Like you work all week just to go out. Like
Yeah.
on Friday evening, Saturday evening. You know what I mean? To be stuck on Sunday and then you got to go back to work or you got to go back to the block. Like I don't know. I'm no better than anybody. And I say I want it better. I wouldn't let that condition hold me down. Ain't no way. Nah.
Right. You saw that conditioning though. Like I feel like people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like,
Mhm.
experiencing new things to see like why am I the way that I am? Because the aspect to me is like the same for me when I go home. You hit the block and people doing the same shit. It's like it's crazy how it's like everywhere you go is like that, But people also like what I'm saying. Like it's one thing to be doing something and be caught in a cycle, but it's another thing to like also a part of that cycle be complaining. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
so it's like
And
that's
you hit it on the head. Like, how do you? oh, they holding me back, they holding me down. Nah, you got to look in the mirror. Like, you have to look in the mirror and see, like, you the only one that can do it. You're the only one that can take yourself out of that nonsense. You know what I mean? That stinking thinking, like, oh, this is just what it's going to be. This is what my parents, yeah, this is what it's going to be. Nah, it's so much bigger than that. The world
Yeah,
is way too big, man. You got to think outside of those boxes. So,
being a victim is yeah, that's definitely a disease, you know, and that just like
yeah.
hard, it's hard to get that virus out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, just because that's, I mean, you don't have to stay there, but a lot of people do, man. Again, like when I go back, I'm from Newburgh, New York. I'm not sure if you heard of Newburgh, upstate Orange County.
Definitely. Been up to
And it's like, you know, I ran with a little rap group, Dark Side up there. You know what I mean? I was doing marketing and promotion and management for them, and I mean, we had a good crew. You know, my one boy right now, he's coming out with a documentary regarding it. It's supposed to be hitting whatchamacallit, Netflix and all of that. A couple different ones. HBO picked up a couple. He told me so. Don't know how true it is. I hope it is. I mean, he's a grinder. He's, you know what I mean? He got with the law enforcement that bagged half of the crew. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of utility on what he's saying. So I hope it happens for him, because that might be able to be that push that he needed to go ahead and get up out of that. You know what I mean?
right.
So we'll see what happens, man. But it's good.
Yeah, I got a question for you. If you I'm
Mhm.
a jump over. I know we just hit that hour mark. I don't know, you know, what that
You good?
um so like, you know, given what you said, like, you know, and you know, the crypto space, like, you know, it's good, and it's also like, you know, kind of enhancing, like, you know, the giver in you, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, if say you could create a program, you know what I'm saying, from scratch, like, you know,
Mhm.
what are some elements based on your experience that you would add that you see ain't really happening out here, you know?
As like, just elaborate just a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm understanding as far as like foundationally what I would do
Yeah,
to.
like if like through your experiences, I'm just wondering, like, if there's like a hire that you see is never made, right? Like, it's like, I need somebody at this job, like a certain like, just, you know how like there's a way, like, you know, we structure things, and it's passed down from like what we've seen, right? Like, and
Yeah.
again, deviate, but like, you get into programs, and like, being from, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, a similar background to the youth that you serve, like, that's rare.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot
Mhm.
of people that work in this space, like, they just have a heart for it, but they don't really fully understand, you know what I'm saying, the experience of the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Mhm.
just coming from that lens, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, just kind of thinking creatively, like, what would you, what would you add, and what would you do different if you were making your own, you know? That's what I was really asking. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it could be, I wouldn't do sports. I would do fitness, right? Like, it's like, I don't know, like, any,
Mhm. So I think for me is just, I think what would have been instrumental for me that I still don't see happening today. Now, I'm not saying there's not a program out there that's doing it, but is that entity, is that program, is Young Vets. I mean, are they really showing up for me? Like, is it for me? You know what I mean? Or is it for them to, and I don't mean just like young, I'm just saying, speaking in the tense of
Mhm.
like somebody really showing up, like my dad wasn't there, right? Like, so what if I had a gentleman that was a mentor to me, not a teacher? Like, because teachers, you know what I mean? Like, what are you getting out of it, right? So if somebody was knocking on my door, hey, you got a game, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna pick you up for your game or whatever it is. Whoa, wait, like I'm sitting, dude is like he's that's his time. I would think his time is valuable, but he wants to be with me. You know what I mean? For the next 2.5 hours and watch me play. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to some of my kids like games. You know what I mean? And I just see him after the game, like, yo, good game. I saw you out there. Yo, you said you was gonna come. That's peace. Yo, this is my house arrest. Yo, 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 you know what I mean? Okay, cool, fellas. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then he introduces me to other people, like, but I showed up, right? So I think that's big. Because anybody can pick up a call, but to get with somebody face to face, like,
Yeah, no,
time is something you can't get back, man. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny. I can't get this hour and 4 minutes back,
right.
but it was crucial for me. This was a seed being planted, right? So, and I welcome it. I ain't worried about the clock. I'm engaged. This is something that excites me. You know what I mean? And again, that's just on the helping tip. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking for nothing out of this. I know I'll be blessed one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really fuck with that because it's like, you
Yeah.
know, I think what you're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like it's easy to clock in for a job, it's easy to pick up a phone, but like to go to someone's game, right? Like I feel like it's true. Like, you know, like you said, a teacher, that's a job, right? Like that they have agenda, right? Like it's like who and you're right about that. And I feel like with they're all limitations, right? Because everyone has their own life, but it's like it has to be like programs, like, you know, that allow for people to integrate themselves fully into kids' lives. Because like it's just like, you know, I be telling teachers all the time, it's like, yeah, you know, certain kids is just they you know what I'm saying?
You ain't reaching them. You're not reaching them.
They're on the other side. They you know what I'm saying, they behave in a certain way and they're in the streets, but they ain't gonna never let you know that. They're gonna smile in your face, right? Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like and it's like you don't connect with them outside of the four walls of the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll never really know them, you know, like that's a concept a lot of educators and a lot of people in that space don't understand, you know. But you're right.
It's a number like with teachers. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I had a couple teachers that I knew cared, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't reachable. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that bell rang. Now I'm hungry. You know what I mean? I wasn't eating at night. You know what I'm saying? So they like show up with a meal, like that would have been dope. But I don't have that expectation. Like I had to leave expectation alone a very long time ago because I don't have an expectation of me, sees. Like I'm not gonna meet it. I'm not. I set you up for failure if I have an expectation of you. If I have an expectation of Dr. Ben, he's gonna fail me because my expectation ain't gonna be what you can deliver on, right? Because I think you should go left and you're going right. I mean, it's like a simple mathematical equation for me, man. Like things are just different for me. When I think back to the past, man, like being in a room, like hotel, like with me and my brother, like I can't undo that. But I'm not gonna let that condition me. Now I live in a house. I mean, it's a huge house. I don't even see the whole house every day. It's 3,000 square foot. I don't go in my daughter's rooms. You know, you know what I mean? So there's just space to roam. But you know, imagine you getting this thing set off down here, and we got. I'm gonna say CJ, you come down here, and we got, you know, the crew. There's 8 of us. You know what I mean? That can come down here, and we gonna, you know, do a little something. But oh, he got a game on Friday night. We go with like the Young V t-shirts and Vets, and you got your logo when CJ's name is on the back, number 14. Like, how does that look for him? Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want nothing out of you. We just here to support you, young man. You know what I mean? That's dope. Like, I don't know. I just saw that whole vision under the lights and all of that. You know what I mean?
That's the type of, like, you know, small you know, just kind of a long way, you know what I'm saying? Like more whatever, you know, intervention stuff they be doing in schools and stuff. Like I feel like
picking him up to go take his SATs, the ACT. Mom, dad ain't in the picture. That's 90% of, you know, the population. I'm sure we can get that stat, or 98% of the stat. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go and pick him up, take him to the SAT. Go ahead, let's do a quick little Zoom call. Hey, CJ, like praying for you, man. Like, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? This is the push. This is what you want to do. We going to college. We got a couple scouts looking at you. Let's get these numbers right. You know, pay for the prep exam. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Doing that shit, man. And now my heart's all wrecked because I think about how many people are out there that ain't eating tonight. Like that shit is bonkers to me. This dude Elon Musk, $43 billion and buys Twitter. I'm not mad at him, damn it, but you could have solved a lot of world problems with that 43 billion. Damn.
Yeah,
it's a little hate.
Guys,
but it's out of love, man. It's out of love. You know what I mean? Because that's that man's money. I'm never going to tell a man what to do with his money. I just want to do it.
But
do it.
People need that moral, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that moral, you know what I'm saying? To like activate that aspect of their brain, you know what I'm saying? So they're not just a selfish place, you know what I'm saying? I think that shit's important, you know?
Yeah. It's the moral compass, man. A lot of them don't have it. Shit. When I think about when I was 14, I didn't have a moral compass. Nobody can tell me anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I balled and I played varsity as a freshman, and I used to break people. You know what I mean? Like I did dumb stuff in the middle of the game. I throw the ball in the air after I crack somebody. You know what I mean? Like coach called timeout, take me out. But I had the chip on my shoulder, man. D will tell you them, like them stories, man. I kick a basketball in the middle of the game after you break. Like, what was I doing? Like now I'm out for 2.5 minutes, but I didn't care. Like I went to a small school district and like people knew who I was, like for the love of basketball. But again, I don't even wish I can take it back. I don't. You know what I mean? But my moral compass was fucked up. You know what I mean? It was just mess.
Yo, you know what I think about a lot? I think
Hmm.
about young people getting money, you know what I'm saying? Like and getting young people, like especially that come from the hood, like, and getting them into like crypto, you know what I'm saying? And then even the NFT space, because it's like, it appears to be like kind of like centered around or has a foundation of art, right? Like,
Mhm.
and so like I wonder like how do you get crypto and like NFTs to like kids in the hood, kids in the streets.
I think that's tough, and I say that only because you have to have some type of startup. Like, yeah, you can buy Bitcoin for $20, but you're not getting too much. And if that shit tanks, now it's down to $2, and you're like, well, I just $20 again. I didn't eat because I took that 20. Like, so I don't know how we filter that. Like, I almost feel like crypto,
Yeah.
along with a lot of money management stuff, like that's the shit that needs to be in school. I'm sorry, like you can tell me about freedom of speech and like that's all fine and good. I got that already. Like how like who's talking about finances? Like balance a checkbook. Nobody's teaching them that.
Right.
Nobody's teaching these kids this. Like, how do you tell like I believe crypto is like still in the beginning stages with a lot of stuff, right? Okay, nobody has like the 60 grand to go buy a Bitcoin or 38, whatever it's at today. It's a little far-fetched. But what I'm saying is you get these altcoins, man, and you start like divvying those things up. Yo, I just bought a Bitcoin. Like I did that, doing it through altcoins, but teaching people how to read candlesticks. Like the stock market ain't going anywhere. I believe the regular stock exchange may be replaced with cryptocurrency. I believe that. I might not see it in my time, but crypto's not going anywhere. The SEC can't regulate this shit. They can't. They're trying, but it's its own beast. Just like, and I'll just say the LGBTQ community, like you ain't touching that community. You can't. You got to watch what you say nowadays. So, how to get kids actively involved? Like, I mean, yeah, you can show them. Come in. Hey, do you need me?
Do you want to get that order fed for?
I need you to get that order for us.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll do it.
please. All right. As soon as I'm done with the call, I'll get in touch with you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that to show hey, look, this is what I made. Like, but that's kind of like shitty, right? Like, but you have to have money in this space, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's tough. I think it's tough. Now you can say, yo, like I just flipped this picture because I think that like I just made $2,000 on this picture. I only paid 200. You know what I mean? But like I was a believer when somebody did this to me. You know what I mean? When they showed me, I was like, you made that much money, and I'm a believer,
For sure.
right? Like, but you also have to have a little bit of bread. I think in my head, you got $20,000. I think within the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years, you'll be a millionaire. Should you pay attention to the people that have already done this? And again, I say it again: the people that have already done it are willing to share with you the mistakes in which they made, and they still made millions. Do not like I seen that with my own eyes. So you can make a believer out of anybody. You just gotta. I mean, the formula has to be right. You know. But I think it's tough. I think schools need to teach. Again, you're teaching me about like I'm sorry, I don't. I just don't. And this isn't like nice
Bashful.
for me to say. Like I don't care about World War II. I just like I wish somebody told me like how to like do finances. Like
Yeah, taxes, right?
man, like
Taxes. Yeah.
are you like if you're going up to the moon, yeah, you need to know like statistics or whatever that form of math. I didn't need to know that. Like I don't use algebra today. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's basic. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Multiplying and adding, subtraction, division, basic. What else do you need to know? Like now you have to figure out where you're going in life. Again, like you don't want to put me in the room to help you design an aircraft that's going to take us to the moon. I promise you it's going to blow up at launch. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not how I'm built. So yeah, man. That's all. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's you're right. It's such a volatile space. It's like, you know, you need to have some starting bread. You know, it's like because like you said, that 20 could be a kid's, like, you know, meal week. You know what I'm saying? His, you know what I'm saying? Weekly.
Yeah.
It was mine, right? To get $5 a day, sometimes
Yeah.
$5 a day to get a sleep. So yeah, you can't really if you dead broke.
Now you can probably come up with some type of program. It's like, yo, you know, you invest, you know, $100 this month, you know, I'm gonna give you 150 next month. But you know, again, it's a volatile area, right? So what if it tanks? Now you can't give him the $150. Now he's like, oh, well, you lied to me, took my 100. Like, I mean, the market usually always corrects itself. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. The markets always correct themselves. Bitcoin's been going back to 60, $100,000. Yes, it is. I believe that. Ethereum's about to pump. Solano's about to do some crazy stuff. You know, there's so many different components. There's so many branches to this trunk. So, I mean, I would love to talk to kids about crypto. And I'm not even versed, but I'm versed enough where I know I can talk to some 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. Absolutely.
Get them started.
There's 17-year-old kids out there that will run laps around me. Like, you know what I mean? Do you know what a derivative project is? Let me look it up. Because that's another thing we got too. We got Google. There ain't nothing. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing you can't figure out. You know what I mean? You can literally punch in how to make money. It'll give you 3 million searches. So, you know, again, access to that. Do the kids have access when they go home? I doubt it. You know what I mean? So there's that component too, man. I mean, again, I'm talking a lot. My fault.
Nah, it's dope. It's dope.
Yeah.
Curious, like, you know, how these worlds kind of collide. You know what I'm saying? Because like, thought, but not too much, and like, because I don't know too much about crypto. I've done a little. Be real, like I lost some bread. You know what I'm saying? Made some bread, lost, but I think like overall down. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm at that point where I'm looking at it like I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like rolling the dice every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but how many times have you done that? Do you know what I mean? And I mean, like, roll the dice in life. Like, I'm not. You don't have to, like, in your head. I want you to think of, how old are you? See,
35.
Okay, I'm 43. I got a little bit more experience, so I'm gonna speak to you. You know, not down. I'm just saying, how many times have you rolled the dice and came up short? What I believe, and again, in this space, everybody says do YOR, do your own research. Listen, I took a hit. I ain't worried about it. I'm just not worried about it because I'm in my head. I'm still up, right? I still look at this and say, you know, like I was checking it before, like I got on this call and I was like, damn, I'm down a couple thousand right now. Like, kind of hurts, but nah. You just got to listen. It's patience, right? If I got into that project yesterday, that's the money I would have lost. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get into the project, so I lost that. It's okay. It's all right. But my thoughts are, how many times did you get up to bat? Yeah, I mean, how many times you just swing? How many times you just look at it? Think about your brother, 2013. How bad are you kicking yourself in the ass for not go ahead and getting into crypto then? We wouldn't be having this conversation. On your end of crypto, we wouldn't be having this conversation. No, because when that damn thing went up to $68,000, and if you had 5 Bitcoin at 10 cents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be having this conversation with me. Nah, I mean, that's my approach to it. Like, I don't never sweat it. Like, sometimes I'm like, damn, that sucks. But you know what? I've seen it soar. I've seen it. I bought a coin the other day, man. It went up 1,200%. 1,200%. I just kicked myself in the ass that I didn't put more in. That's my problem. Like, because I'm still like, ooh, like, ooh, you know, because when you see $1,000 hit, you're like, damn, that's a G. I could have got those cement Jordans I wanted for 500. Like, now I gotta stay in. Like, I'll go back up. Like, it's just patience, man. But you know, again, I had to learn the hard way. I seen a coin dipping, and I'm like, yo, I'm out. And then the coin turns around in the next 4-hour candlestick and it soars like 300%. And you're like, oh my God. So don't kick yourself in the ass.
Right, right.
Just keep, you hear it, buy the dip. Oh, I'm in. Like, I'm in. I might have to foreclose on some properties if they stop paying rent because I'm putting that money in. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's just racking it, man. You're gonna ace out once in the blue. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But
Most definitely.
yeah, man, head crack. You know what I mean? Like, ouch, that hurt. But okay, so you can't go buy them Jordans now, or you can't go and do X, Y, and Z. Maybe you got to put 87 in your car this week and not premium. You took a hit. It's whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe you leave a car alone and hit that bus pass, the MTA. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to cut corners, man, nowadays. I just don't let, when the market is the way that it is, like crypto been taking a little hit, but I'm not going to bad talk it. I just won't. I can't. I seen what it's done for me. And I'm still broke. You know what I mean? I told you I'm not a millionaire. I show you my bank account. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? I'm good though. I'm in a good spot. But yeah, again, love talking about crypto, man. I'm learning every day. Like I'm learning how to read charts and stuff like that now. Candlesticks, the Chinese candlesticks. It's important because that's what everybody goes off of. Don't look at the whole trajectory. When that coin started, because that might mess you up a little bit. But there's just a wealth of knowledge behind all of this, man. You watch the right people, you start to learn like their behaviors, what they're doing, and a lot of people, like again, they share the space with people, man. If I knew what I knew, you know what I mean? That's all I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can talk to me all day about young vets. I'm interested. I mean, you got me at the word go. Let's chat. Here we are, hour half in. And it's going all over the place, but I appreciate it, man. I do. And if I can help, again, let's change somebody's life, bro, in North Carolina.
Definitely.
Let's stake it, man. Stake it and make it happen. And if I can help along the way, absolutely, my man. Again, you ain't got to stay nowhere. You can come to my crib and stay. I ain't worried about it,
Appreciate that.
No, I mean it. I mean it, man. Any friend that mess with D, like I know D is only looking to, like to do what's right. Yeah, I mean, how can he get back? Like he made it. Like my boy made it. Like, and he's younger than me. You know what I mean?
He beat the game.
Yeah. He's got a board ape. He's got some mutant. I can't because I don't want to talk about another man like that. You know what I mean? But
Amazing.
again, he introduced me to the space. He made it. Like he made it. and I'm sure if I'm taking this hit, like he's taking hits. But his hits aren't like my hits. Like they're hits. You know what I mean? They make you throw up hits. You know what I mean? So, and that's just because like I fought, like I talk to him like maybe once or twice a week. It's just like, yo, what's good? What you getting into? How are you? First of all, how are you? You know what I mean?
Yo, is there access to any like kind of community? Like I know like Telegram has like group chats and stuff where people be throwing in like this coin. Is there anything like, you know what I'm saying, that you willing to share that I could jump in on? Because I'm like,
Discord. I have to it's my boy D's group. I will certainly speak to him. Again, you shoot me your information. You said you would. And then once I'm able to, you just got to join Discord and I can like invite you to the group. And like that's where I pick up a lot of information too. But now like, the people in there are like, yo, do your own research. You know what I mean?
right.
And they show you everything. You got questions, somebody chimes in and answers it. Or they'll be like, yo, go to this link. This is where I found this information. Oh, because that combats what you're telling me, right? So, okay, something's going on here. So the dude was like, yo, these 3 projects are coming out. I checked them one. He goes, yo, matter of fact, chill. Don't do that project. It's going to be a FUD project. And that's exactly what happened. It FUDded, which means it was like a rug pull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But that's the one where he showed me like he made $2,700 in like 15 minutes. Like it's time stamped. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bugged out. And there's so many different trading platforms, Pancake Swap, Uniswap, Qcoin, Coinbase, like, and there's another 50, you know what I mean, that you haven't even touched. Now, certain ones you got to get certain coins from. So, I mean, it's the space is forever evolving. And that's why everything's like the first. You can still get in and be in a really good position in 3 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in 3 years, like you know what they say, you surround yourself with millionaires, you'll be the 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth. That's where I'm headed. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm far from it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not, you know what I mean? But yeah. Where's Dr. Bennett? I might have to jump off this phone. I know I got to go pick up my son from school here.
Yeah. I'm getting close to that time as well.
Yeah.
I think Ben might be
just stretching somebody out. Maybe give him another minute and a half, see if he jumps on. If not, man, I'm gonna have to terminate on my end. You know what I mean?
right on. Yeah, for sure.
You know, but you got my math, man. Hit me. Even if you want to talk a little bit later, man, we can kind of chop something up, or just something comes to you. You thought about something, go ahead and hit me. I'll be available.
Good to see you over here because I'm using my phone. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Definitely, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's crucial for me because, like, like I said, like, my passion is the youth development stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Share that. Getting bread is for that means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I like the fire J's, and I like the, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always gonna want to, like, have nice and be, you know what I'm saying, like, part of lifestyle, but, like, the real purpose for me amassing, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount of is to create a vehicle that I feel like I'm gonna be proud of. So, like, just hearing crypto stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, because like you said, I've aced out a few times, so
I would say this though, like, when you look in the mirror, man, just know that you're gonna continue to forward march, man. Just see it through. See, that's all I can tell you, man. Like, you're already in 6 cities, right?
Yeah,
you're doing work. So, and you're changing lives. I hope that you're doing this like with your heart and not your hand. You see what I'm saying?
definitely.
Like, a lot of time we expose our hand a lot. Like, I can do. But what happens when you open that up and you expose your heart, right? Like, so be heartfelt in all of this, man. And I don't know if you were praying, man, because I am. Just pray, man. He's gonna make that straight, bro. It's like every day I pray, man. And I ain't gonna turn it into a whole religion thing, because when they created religion, they rocked a lot of things in the world. But I have my belief in that. I say that just because it's moving me now when I think about it. Just, you're changing people's lives, man, and that's what this is about. That's what I believe. That's the base and the foundation of what you're trying to do. Like, get them away from thinking, irrational. Like, nah, you don't got to join that gang, man. Like, I hate that. And down here, it's really, really bad. Like, because they don't even move the way that they supposed to. Bloods, Crips, all of them. They all move like it's backwards. Like, they got it backwards, man. They're in their head. They just can't. They can't see through it. So, yeah, you're changing lives, man. Just continue to do it. And you're doing a hell of a job. I'll say that again. I don't care if you have one person in each, city, but you got 6 cities, man, that are rocking with you. You got some home bases in them. So just continue to spawn off of that, man. You'll make it. You'll make it regardless whether I'm around or not. You're gonna do it. I believe that. You're doing it. You know what I mean? Pat yourself on the back, man. You know what I mean? And be easy on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
be easy on yourself. We gotta be, man. We gotta be. Because out there in that world, man, we can get off this phone and jump into the world like there's everybody screaming. Everybody got an experience. Everybody got their own shit that they got going on, man. But the youth is what's going to take care of the nation once we get out of here. So
exactly.
See how you can change it. But good work, brother. All right, keep doing it. All right. Dr. Ben, I don't know if you got an earphone in, but I'm out. And we'll all get up again, I'm sure.
All right, Marlon.
All right. Be easy, Cese. Like I said, call me should you need anything. You just want to chat, all right?
Definitely. I'll send you my info right now.
All right, sound good, brother. Take care.
All right, peace.
All right,
peace, Ben.
Peace, Ben.